What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and this is my first look and review of the Google Nexus 7 tablet. Now I posted a very quick unboxing video yesterday. You can click the link here and have a look at it, and I thought I'd have a good play around with it and bring you guys a closer look. Looking at the specs and performance of the tablet, obviously you've got the quad-core Tegra 3 processor, very fast, 1 GB of RAM, and you've got the 7-inch display which has a resolution of 1280 by 800, and it's a HD display with 216 ppi. You've got the 1.2 front-facing camera, 1.2 megapixels front-facing camera. Now you don't actually get a back-facing camera, so it is just that one there. And the battery life is roughly about 10 hours, I'd say, with 10 hours usage, and it's 4,325 mAh. You've got the 8GB and 16GB versions, and this is the 16GB version. Now one point to mention is you do not actually have an SD card slot, so you can't expand on memory. So if you are thinking of getting the 8GB version, have a think about it. If you'll need the extra storage, then I'd advise going for the 16GB version, as I have done. You've got Android Jelly Bean, a 4.1 pre-installed on here. We'll look at a bit more detail in that later, and also it's 340 grams, pretty light and nice in the hand. Now performance wise, very fast, really quick here with everything. And if I just show you a quick example of a video. Now we've got a 1080p video on here, something that I kind of put together for one of my other channels. Now it's a promo video. Now if you just have a look at that, there you go, it's playing 1080p video on here, very clear and very fast as well, no lag whatsoever. I've had lag playing this video on other tablets, but on here plays nice and fast, very responsive as you can see here. And we'll just do a quick test in the browser. Now I've just got the BBC homepage, sorry, BBC News homepage here. Now you can see the pinch to zoom, nice and fast here. It's pretty responsive, no problems whatsoever in terms of browsing the net here as well. Android Jelly Bean 4.1. Now this is the latest Android update obviously, and it works really well, nice and fast and smooth. On the home screen you've got the dock here. Now this has got shortcuts to all your favorite apps. You've also got folders in here, which is really good. Going into your app screen works pretty well. You've also got a shortcut to the Play Store by just clicking this button here, so that remains there. Quite a nice feature to have. You've got your widgets which you can easily add onto your home screens. Now let's just put, say for example, photo gallery. Now what's really quite cool here is it automatically rearranges wherever you're going to be placing it, so you can just drag and drop onto here. You can put whatever. I'm not going to actually put an album onto here, so really good here. You've got your notifications bar, just there you go, any kind of notifications on will come up on here. You can also lock your screen, so when you tilt it, it won't move around, so quite nice there as well. Now multitasking, as with the previous versions, nice and easy. You can just drag and drop, you can just drag them from side to side and they will close. Now one thing that I've noticed on here, obviously you've not got Flash. Flash is only supported before versions 4.0, so you don't have Flash on here. But I've also noticed other apps such as the BBC iPlayer. Now if I go on to, say this is the BBC iPlayer on the Google Chrome browser. Now when I actually click to go on to the apps, now you'll see here your device is not compatible with this version. Now if I search for the BBC iPlayer as well on the app, the Google Play Store, it's not actually on here. So I've also noticed that with Mozilla Firefox as well. So now it's probably the apps need some updating, so that might be the case. So some of these may work, not Flash, but they may work with later versions. Now let me show you something that's pretty cool. So if I go into the settings here, now I'll just go on to about tablet. So now that's the information of the tablet. Obviously we're running Android version 4.1.1. Now here's something cool that I found. If you tap that 3 times, what should happen, let's try that again, there you go, you get this pretty cool Jelly Bean animation. Now you can just tap on here. Now if you touch on the hole of that, you get this pretty cool 3D kind of wallpaper screen which you can play around with. Pretty cool, just something on here that I just discovered. looking at the size and form factor of the Google Nexus 7 tablet, obviously it's a 7-inch tablet, which is smaller than some of the more popular tablets out there. For instance, the iPad is 9.7 inches and 652 grams in weight. This is 340 grams in weight. And comparing it to the Motorola Zoom tablet, which I currently own, this Motorola Zoom is 10.1 inches and around 730 grams. So this is the difference. You can see what the difference is in terms of size here, next to each other. Now if I put them in, if I put this in front, you can see this is a sort of size difference that you've got between the Motorola Zoom and the Google Nexus 7. Now obviously there's that size difference, but as I mentioned about the weight, you're looking at around half the weight of some of these other tablets. iPad 652 grams, the Google Nexus 7 340, so it's really light. So now obviously when it comes to things like if you're going to be on the train using this for a long period of time and you're going to be carrying this, compared to some of the other bigger tablets, it's going to be much easier in the hand, a lot less strain as well. In terms of the size, I know there's a difference of opinion in it, so I guess it really depends on what you prefer. The Google Nexus 7 is also aiming at the e-reader market, people who use things like the Kindle to read books. And here's the app on here, just to show you a quick example. I've only got the default books that were on here from before. Now this is the guidebook, for instance. Works pretty well, quite fast. You can scroll through, you can zoom in to see the text. Now obviously the Kindle has more of a readable screen, easier on the eye. You've also got the reflective screen on the Nexus 7, so it really depends. But obviously you get that many more features at a good price, so that's something for you to decide. The camera on the Nexus 7 is the 1.2 front-facing camera, as I mentioned. You do not get a rear-facing camera on the device. Now, this is obviously intended for things like conference calling, such as using apps as Skype. Now, I've not actually found a default app on here to take pictures if you wanted to use the front-facing camera to take pictures yourself. I don't know if you can use a different app to do that. And also things like Instagram. So now if I'm on the Play Store and I search for Instagram, Instagram is not actually available on here. I don't know if they're going to update it, so at least you can use Instagram for things like liking pictures, etc., but not taking pictures. But that's one of the disadvantages here, obviously, the limitation with just the front-facing camera. One pretty cool feature on the Google Nexus 7 is the voice command control. Now let me show you a quick example. What's the weather like in Leicester?
It's 61 degrees and cloudy in Leicester. Here's the forecast for the next few days.
There you go, robot speaking back to you, but it recognized my accent even with the strong Leicester accent. Let me try another example. Directions to London.
Getting directions.
There you go, and it's just going to open Google Maps. Pretty cool feature here. Now, it is not like Siri, so if you're expecting a Siri kind of equivalent, it's just not like that, so it's not going to give you any personal responses. Let's try that again. How are you today? There you go, so it's just going to go into Google. It's not your best friend on the phone, it's not going to give you a response on here. To summarize, I think this is a very good tablet, and I think Google have done a great job with it. Obviously there's a few limitations, such as just the front facing camera and obviously the storage size that you can, 16 gigabytes is the maximum you can get on here, but for the price that you pay, less than £200 for a quad core tablet, very nice. Now that's half the price of some of the other more popular tablets out there, so it's a really good option in my opinion. Really nice. What do you think of it? Drop me a comment below, let me know. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not subscribe to the channel? Hit the button here. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.